Hey guys, so it's Josh back with ABG Tutorials. It's been a little while. I've now got a beard. I've been busy in my personal life, but I'm still continuing this series where I want to teach you guys how to build websites with HTML code. When you think of a web page, I can't think of a good website that doesn't have images included. The more images, often the better. So this is an important one, and it's pretty simple, but there are a few guidelines that you need to keep in mind. The first thing I'm going to talk about in this video is just reviewing some tags. What are they? How are they used? We're going to talk about attributes, and then I'm going to jump into showing you the tag that's used to add an image to your page. And then I'm going to show you just a couple of different ways to link up an image to your HTML document. At the very end, I'm going to talk about a few of the attributes that are specific for images. And then that way you kind of have a good idea of how to add images and then how to use the attributes that go with them. If you watch some of my older videos or you've watched other videos or done some research, a tag is a keyword that tells a web browser how to format the content, essentially. And so here are a couple of examples. Let me switch this to, in a previous video I showed you that if you were to copy and paste this into an editor and then run it, the text in between the tag would now be bold. This would be italic. Now this is an example of a tag that needs to be opened right here and needs to be closed. Not all of them do. So the tag BR, which starts a new line, is just a standalone tag. If you type BR, it just starts a new line. There's no need to close the tag. So not every tag needs to be closed, and the image tag is an example. Okay, so when you start talking about attributes, attributes can be added to our tags. So the tag is like the big modifier, and then within that we can customize that specific tag. Certain tags have required attributes, but they all have optional attributes that just allow us to customize things or include things that we're going to need a little bit down the road if we want to learn JavaScript or something else. So I've got an example here. This is called a paragraph tag, and I haven't introduced it in a video yet, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It creates a paragraph. The ID here is an example of an attribute. So it's the name is ID and then equals. And so this allows me to create a unique identifier for my paragraph, which isn't useful unless I'm going to use that to do something else, which we do in JavaScript. And then here's another attribute called align. So align equals right would mean, that the paragraph's going to start to align to the right, or you could align it to the center or to the left. So that's an example of an attribute. And as you learn more and more tags, you're going to learn more and more attributes. And they're all kind of like tools in a toolbox. Sometimes you could be really good at making images, and other times, maybe you need a little bit of help. You need to do a little bit of research. And so tags and attributes go hand in hand as you learn to build websites. So here's the tag that's used to insert an image. It's just IMG, and it has a required attribute called SRC, meaning the source. If you're going to link an image, you need to include a source. Where is that picture? So this is an example of a tag that doesn't need to be closed. It has many optional attributes, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later once I show you how to add some images to your pages. So this is the line of code you want to use right here to insert an image. Couple of different ways to link the image. The first would be just to link an image that's already on the internet, and then the other one would obviously be if you have an image saved to your computer. So whether you took a picture or you found a picture online, you actually have that image saved somewhere on your computer. Okay, once you can do these two, you can add any image to your pages. First, let's show you how to add an image from the internet. So for the source attribute, you want to actually include the entire link. So for adding an image from the internet, you're going to use this line of code, and this URL is going to be the link to where that picture exists. Luckily, it's really easy to copy a link from the internet and just paste that right into our editor. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to actually do the code here. Find an image, link it to your HTML page. Something that I showed you in a previously video is that I like to have this HTML start, where if I open it in brackets, which is just an editor that I like to use, it's got all my tags already built in that every HTML document should have, and then you're not retyping stuff. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to save as. I'm going to call it HTML images.html because that's what I'm going to use as I learn how to add images. So I suggest you do the same. So now we need to find an image. So here's my tag, image source equals, and in quotations I'm going to put the link. So what I've got over here is just a Google search of funny dog pictures, and let's say we like this one, and so here's the picture here. I can right click and I can say copy image link, and now I'm just going to move this out of the way, go back to my browser or my editor, sorry, and I'm going to paste the image link right here, and then I'm going to put that little symbol in to close this off. Now I'm going to save it, and I'm going to open up my HTML images page. You can see it's here, right beside where my Google search was. And there it is. So I did my Google search. I found this picture. I copied the link, the image link, and I pasted it for the source right here. And there's the image that's being displayed. Okay, so this is linking an image from an image that exists on the internet. Now, obviously, the downside here is if this image were to be removed from this website where it's located, and be careful because some images are copyrighted. So you have to be careful about the images that you're getting. And if this image was to be removed, then my link would be broken on my page. Okay, so if you want to save a file or a picture file to your computer and use that, or let's say you took a picture from your phone and you wanted to use that, then it's actually going to exist on your computer or your phone, and you need to get it onto your computer. Okay, so you always want to save your images to the folder that your HTML document is. It kind of makes sense if you're building a website, you want to have a folder, and all of your web pages and any sort of documentation or images that go with that website should be in the folder. Okay, and now, oops, I'll go back. This time when we use the SRC attribute, we're going to be using the picture's name, so you're going to name it, and an extension. So often you'll see JPEG, PNG, GIFs or GIFs. I know they're supposed to be GIFs, but everybody calls them GIFs. I'll let you decide what you prefer. Okay? And then I'm going to show you where, okay, maybe if your web page is really large, you don't want all of these images floating around. You want to use a folder in a folder. This time around, I'm going to show you how to insert an image that's just been saved to your computer. Now, I saved the very same picture. So first, I'm displaying this picture using the actual link of where this picture exists on the internet. But I've also got it saved in the same folder that I was using before, and I've called it dogpic1, and it's a JPEG file. So I can now link this image, still using src equals, and now you know, this is why I like this editor, by the way, because it's searching the directory already and it's asking me, is this the picture you're looking for? So we can use that. Other editors aren't going to do that for you. You're going to have to know the exact name. And then I can close this symbol off. I can save. I can go back and refresh, and there it is. I've got back-to-back images. The difference is one is using the internet to find it, and the other is the actual document, or sorry, the image saved on my computer. Now let's just say we've got a whole bunch of images here and we don't want clutter. So we wanted to use a folder called pictures. And I'm going to drag this picture over. I'm going to show you what's going to happen. First of all, this second picture better erase because this link is broken now. So if I erase it, so it's gone. So you can see here that there's this image that should be there. It's recognizing the tag IMG, but something's going on with the actual source. Okay, and the fact is we moved it. So all I have to do there is just include the directory. So I put them in pictures. It cleans things up. On a large website, you're going to want to have that. And then this time now all I have to do is include pictures and then a slash. Now when I save, and I want to bring back this, now my image reappears. Okay, so you can use an image from the internet. You can save it to the exact same folder. It has to be in the same folder. Then you can just use the name of the image, dot the extension. Or you can use a folder or anywhere else on your computer. You just have to use the longer address in order for the editor to find that exact image. Okay, so let's get into some attributes now for common attributes that are used for the image tag. The first one here is called an alt. And so these are the words that will appear if there is a broken link. Now I just showed you in a demonstration, it's really easy to have a broken link. I moved a picture into a folder and I forgot to say that. So then you're going to have that situation where the browser thinks there's an image there, but the link is broken, so something is going on there. And so I'm going to show you how to add this attribute. Basically, when the link is broken, words will display, and so at least you get a better idea of what image was supposed to be displayed instead of just guessing. Another common one is a border. So if you want a border around your images, you can use, border equals 2 or border equals 3. And you can use the width or height. You can change the pixels, or you can change the percentage. There are often so many other ways you can change widths and heights. A style attribute can be added to any tag, and really the style attribute goes hand in hand with CSS. And I'm going to be talking about CSS in almost every video because it's what ties everything together in the end. And so this is why I want you to keep in mind, I want you to learn tags, I want you to learn attributes, but in the end, CSS is what we're going to use to customize our pages and our tags so that they have a common theme. So if you want your images to look the same, to be formatted the same, you're going to want to use CSS for that. You're not going to want to go and change all of the individual attributes of every image that you use. You can change a lot of them just in one place and they'll apply naturally. So, keep that in mind as you're learning HTML. At the end, when we learn CSS, you're going to be able to see how we really can customize these things. Okay, so here we are again with the example that I was using. We've got two images. It's the same image. This time I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna make an error. So let's say I added an extra C here, and I'm gonna save it. We're gonna go to my page and refresh it, and see how the image disappears. Here's where I could use an alt. attribute, and I could just say funny dog picture. And I'm going to save it. And we're going to come back and refresh. And now at least, no, it doesn't fix my main problem. The image is not there. But you can at least see that it was supposed to be a funny dog picture. And so that still makes my web page better. If a link ever does get broken, I can see what was supposed to be there. So that's one of those best practices. Every time you're adding images to your pages, you should add a quick alt and quickly describe what the image is so that if it doesn't display or if the link ever gets broken, your web page is a little bit more functional than it would have been. Okay, so now let's go and look at some of these other ones. Let's fix this issue. Fix the spelling issue. And so see, when the image is there, the words don't appear. The words will only appear if the link gets broken. So let's now use these side-by-side images. And on the second one, I'm going to add border equals 3. And let's save. And you can see it added a border around the image. You know, and I could go and add border equals 5. Save. And it's going to make a larger border. So it's just something you can do to customize. Let's go ahead here and change the height. Let's say 100 pixels. So you use px for that. And let's change the width to, let's say 150 pixels. And I'm going to save this and refresh. And you can see it's shrunk my picture. Okay? So realistically, guys, you're starting to learn tags, you're starting to learn attributes, you're starting to learn kind of how to customize your pages. So here's the one image, and the second image has all sorts of attributes added. An alt, a border, a height, a width, and often you can continuously add attributes to customize. There it is again. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you continue to follow me on my journey. I'm hoping to pump out a few more videos than I have. You know, it's been too long between. Be sure to continue to follow my guide so that you guys can learn HTML and all sorts of other customizations you can do to your pages. As usual, always be grinding.